Today we're talking about proportions. A proportion is two equivalent rates or ratios. Now, one way that we can tell that two rates or ratios are proportionate are if the proportions are equal. Now, what do we mean by this? The cross products have to be equal. So if I take and I move these up, I'm looking at the cross products, which means this product and this product. 4 times 25 and 5 times 20. Well, if I take 4 times 25, it's 100. 5 times 20 is 100. So this is a proportion, okay? We're multiplying the cross products. All right, kind of makes that multiplication sign. Let's look at another one. To solve for an unknown, we multiply the cross products that contain both numbers and divide by the number that contains the unknown. Okay, that's a lot of words. So let's look at what this means. Well, we know 6 times 9, right? So if we know that 6 times 9 is 54, and we know that 3 times some number has to equal that 54, okay? So what are we saying here? We're asking ourselves, what number times 3 equals 54? Well, if I divide 54 by 3, I get 18. Now I can check my work. I can say 3 times 18. Okay, what is that? Check in your calculator if you want to. It's 54. So I know that my answer is right. So now, if I had 3/6, 9 over 18 would be proportionate. Okay, that's one strategy. You could also know that 3/6 is 1/2. And you would also know that 9 over 18 is 1/2. So you can see that these are proportionate. All right, so let's try these. I want you to take a minute and I want you to look at which numbers are going to be multiplied with one another, okay? So we've got K and 3, and we've got 6 and 4, all right? Clearly my writing there is not the best. Okay, so 6 times 4 is going to equal 3 times some unknown, and we're calling that unknown K. So what is 6 times 4? It's 24. And then we've got 3K. So what we're asking ourselves is how many times do I need to multiply, what number do I need to multiply by 3 to get 24? Well, if I divide 24 by 3, let's divide both sides by 3, okay? Now I get 8. So K has to equal 8. Can I check my work? Sure. 8 times 3 is 24, and 6 times 4 was 24, so we know that they're proportionate. Okay, 3Y, because we've got 3 of this unknown, and we're calling that unknown y, equals 45 times 1. Well, 45 times 1 is, of course, 45. And what number times 3 equals 45? Well, if we divide 45 by 3, we get 15. Can we check our work? Sure. 1 times 45 was 45. And 3 times 15 is also 45, so now we know that we have solved that proportion. Cross products property. Okay, let's look at this one. The ratio of boys to girls is 10 to 8. There are 15 boys in the class, so how many girls are in the class? All right, so we know that for every 10 boys, there are 8 girls, okay? So that's one ratio. We know that there are 15 boys. So boys, 10, 15 boys, okay? So that one needs to go in the top, and we want to know how many girls, so we're going to use the unknown of G, okay? We use variables to represent these unknown numbers, right? So 8 times 15, 10 times G, okay? So let's look at this. Well, 15 times 8 is 120, 10 times G is 10G. So if we divide by 10 on both sides, because we're asking ourselves, what number times 10 gives us 120? Okay, so if we divide by 10, we get G equals 12. Can I check my work? Sure. We already know 15 times 8 is 120, so 10 times 12 is also 120. Oh, I could have used these down here too. That would have been better. Yesterday you bought 8 folders for $4. Today you need to buy 5 more folders. How much will 5 folders cost? Set up a proportion. Okay, you can set up the proportion like this. You bought $4, 8 folders. How much money will 5 folders cost? Or you can set it up, you bought 5 folders, and you don't know the cost versus 8 folders for $4. Okay, now this is the standard one that we would normally use. Okay, so I'm going to show you this proportion, but we're going to check to make sure both work. Okay, so 4 times 5 is the first step, which we know is 20. And it's 8 times an unknown. Okay, I want to know how much it's going to cost for those 5 folders. Wow, I couldn't get that out for a second. Okay, so I'm going to take 20 and I'm going to divide it by 8. And I am left with $2.50. Now in my calculator it only wrote 2.5, but we know we're working with money here, so of course we need that place value, okay, to be held with that 0. Now if I come over here and I solve this proportion, remember we kept folders here and money here, while we had money here and folders in this line. Okay, so there are many ways you can set up proportions. So as long as they're in the same row or the same column, so folders with folders, money with money, money with money, folders with folders, it's okay, because notice I'm still multiplying 5 times 4, getting 20, still multiplying 8 times x, still getting 8x. Gonna have the same thing when I divide, okay? Let's look at one more. I want you to try this on your own. Go ahead and pause this, okay, for just a second. Now, when you're reading this, I want you to read it really carefully. The ratio of boys to girls is 5 to 7, okay? So this is a ratio of boys to girls. So we know boys to girls is 5 to 7. If there are 36 students in the class, how many of those are girls? Okay, so we want students to girls, okay? So we know 36 and we've got this unknown of girls. Now, this is a different proportion. So because this is different, boys are not students, but girls are girls, we need to know how many students total we have. So we have 5 boys, 7 girls, which means we have 12 total students. And of those students, how many of them are girls? Well, 7, right? 7 girls in the class of 12. So if we want to know how many girls there are in the class, that's our unknown, and we know that there are 36 students, we need to represent this question mark with an unknown. Let's call them girls, G. Okay, so we know that there are 36 students. Let's solve the proportion, okay? We're going to take and we're going to cross products. All right, we're going to go 7 times 36, 12 times G. Okay, so 7 times 36. Write that down. Equals 12 times G. So we've got 12 girls, or 12 times G, excuse me, not 12 girls. And then 7 times 36, which is 252. And now when we divide by 12, we get G equals 21. Let's answer this. Is that reasonable? Yes, because 21 out of 36 would be girls, okay? All right, so and that's how you solve proportions. See you next time.